Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about the second part of a series of videos about how to create a plugin using the ACF. If you missed the first part, you can find the link on the description, and the project is also on my GitHub and the link is on the description below. I am Donini and I'll be your host. Okay, so when we thinking something like we work with local development in our local machine and we have a server to deploy something, which is a normal flow to develop something, we create our own custom fields or group of fields inside our local environment, and then when we have the feature ready, we need to push this to the server. Let's imagine that we create something and we push direct to the server. How we can push this using the ACF and don't recreate the fields manually between both environments? We can use something like the feature to export the JSON file with the fields and import on the server, or we can use the second option, which is the most used by me, that is export a PHP file with the field structure. And with this, for example, if we want to improve or add a new feature in the future, we can do this directly on the PHP file. We don't need to worry about how to replicate the field that we have local on the server. So in my opinion, this is the greatest idea. Let's take a look at how this works. If you go to the custom fields and tools, we have an option here to export our fields. In this case, we want to export only the group of fields that we have, that is message info, and we want to export this as a PHP file. Let's hit the button, and here is the code. All the PHP structure and fields and code to have that fields inside our custom post. I will copy to my clipboard, and now we can go to our VS Code and we can import this file. Normally I create a folder on the root of my plugin called ACF, and inside of this folder I create a new file called, normally the name of the feature, like message fields.php, and I passed this code here. Okay, so now I have inside my plugin the fields from the PHP file. Okay, so we need to import these fields inside our plugin. And how we can do this? We simply need to create a new function, public function, like ACF fields, and now we can use that constant that we have defined inside the main file of the plugin. If you remember, we create this constant called coffee press path, which have the path of our plugin. So we can get this constant and import the file here. The path is ACF message.fields.php. We also need to call this function ACF fields inside our constructor. So now we can use something like this, our function, and we're ready to go. Another important thing that we need to keep in mind is that we need to test if the ACF plugin is active inside our WordPress installation. So to do this, we need to create a function to verify if the plugin is active. In this case, I would like to put this registration and validation directly on the main file of the plugin. So to do this, we need to create a function. We can call this function like activation check. And inside this, we need to check if the plugin is active, and we can pass through this parameter the path of the plugin, which in my case is advanced custom fields pro/acf.php. And if the plugin is not active, we need to deactivate this plugin or own plugin that you are running in this case. So we need to call the function deactivate plugins, and we need to pass the path of our own plugin with the function plugin base name, and pass the file. And we can type something like a message for the user telling that the user needs to have the ACF plugin up and running. So we can type something like the plugin ACF needs to be installed and active in order to activate this plugin. And to solve this problem, we need to call another function called register activation rook and pass the file of our plugin, this main file of our plugin, and the name of our function, which in this case is activation check. And that's it. Let's try and see if this works. I will try to deactivate the ACF plugin and the CoffeePress plugin, and I will try to activate only the CoffeePress plugin without having the ACF plugin active. Let's deactivate both plugins. And now I will try to activate. Let's see what's happened. So here's the message. The plugin ACF needs to have installed. It's the same message we have defined to test if the plugin is active. So now we can go back to the screen and activate first the ACF, and then we can try to activate our plugin. And here we are. It's up and running again. We have our message system up and running. Okay, so this is pretty much that we have for today. It's very important to mention that this structure worked fine for me, and I hope this can work fine for you as well. This is not a sponsored video, and if you have any comments, any ideas, or any doubts about how to create plugins, let in the comments below, and I will be glad to discuss with you about that. And to keep me motivated and creating new videos, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to see the new videos that are coming up. In the next episode, we will talk about how we can get the messages from our back end and how we can insert and display this on the front end. That's it. See you guys next time.